Brainstem respiratory centers. There are 3 pairs of brainstem respiratory centers. These pairs control automatic breathing. They are located in the reticular formation of the medulla oblongata and the pons. The medulla sends signals to the muscles involved with breathing, and the pons controls the rate of breathing. The pairs within the medulla oblongata and the pons are the ventral respiratory group, or the VRG, the dorsal respiratory group, the DRG, and the pontine respiratory group, the PRV. They are on each side of the brainstem. The 2 sides communicate with each other so the respiratory muscles symmetrically contract. The dorsal respiratory group and the ventral respiratory group are located in the medulla oblongata, while the pontine respiratory group is located in the pons. The ventral respiratory group stimulates expiratory movements or exhalation and inspiratory movements or inhalation. It is a nucleus within the medulla that has 2 mixed webs of neurons called the inspiratory and expiratory neurons. Both of these neurons are active during breathing cycles, and they work together to maintain automatic breathing. The inspiratory neuron fires for about 2 seconds and signals down the spinal cord. Nerve signals continue to the diaphragm and to the external intercostal muscles. The muscles then contract, which enlarge the thoracic cage and causes inspiration or inhalation. The inspiratory neurons eventually stop firing due to fatigue or outside source signals, and the expiratory neurons will then begin to fire. As they begin to fire, they allow for the inspiratory neurons to relax, and air is then expelled from the lungs. Relaxed expiration generally lasts around 3 seconds. Once the expiratory neurons slow down, the inspiratory neurons begin to fire again, which causes the cycle to repeat. This is the process of inhalation and exhalation. The alternation of the circuits firing creates a respiratory rhythm of about 12 breaths per minute. The ventral respiratory group can be influenced by outside sources, which means that breathing can be slower or faster, or deeper or shallower than normal breathing. The dorsal respiratory group contains mainly inspiratory neurons and is responsible for the timing of the respiratory cycle and inspiration. It extends through the medulla and between the ventral respiratory group and the central canal of the brainstem. The dorsal respiratory group sends signals to the ventral respiratory group in order to adapt the respiratory rhythm to varying conditions. It is stimulated by the apneustic center in the lower pons, as well as chemoreceptors in major arteries and a chemosensitive center of the anterior medulla oblongata. The pontine respiratory group is located in the pons. It changes the rhythm of the ventral respiratory group. Its main function is to control the rate or speed of involuntary respiration. Input is received from higher brain centers such as the cerebral cortex, hypothalamus, and limbic system, and output is then sent to the dorsal respiratory group and the ventral respiratory group. Breathing becomes shorter or shallower or longer and deeper due to the centers in the medulla. The pontine respiratory group helps breathing during certain situations such as exercise, sleep, vocalization, and other emotional responses such as crying, laughing, or gasping.